you'll see it's red and it's actually recording.
Right.
And then you can zoom in if you push up there. You can zoom out, push over there, and then you can grab the thing and move it around.
Right.
You know, get different people, do whatever. And then when it gets up to about 30 minutes, this is Blair Witch time.
Right.
Right? Doesn't have to be professional. Okay. We're going to go ahead and start our meeting here. I want to thank you all very much for making it to another Santa Barbara Real Estate Investor Association meeting. We've got a back door that's over there that's got a lot of bright light coming through. It's kind of blinding me. I'm not quite sure if we need to have that open or not. No, probably not. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. So thank you very much for showing up. We've got about 2 o'clock, it's a little bit later, so we want to get rolling. I know people have schedules and things that they need to do, so we're going to go through a couple things here. You notice that I changed the venue here, put the screen over. We don't have a light blocking us out and a lot of problems. I think this is going to work out a little bit better for everybody. What we're going to end up doing is going through and talking a little bit about private lending, tax liens and deeds, raw land, and rental properties, all the good, bad, and the ugly on that. So that's basically what we're going to do, and then also some of the next meetings and what's coming up. So if we come back to the main website, SantaBarbaraREIA.com. You can also get there, SBREIA.com. One of the things that we have is benefits. You can be a member of the National REIA for $50 a year. You don't have to be, but if you're rehabbing homes, you can get discounts on things like Sherwin-Williams Paint and Home Depot and all kinds of things. One of the things that you get as a member of the Santa Barbara Real Estate Investor Association is free listings on NHBIG. So if you take a look at that little area there, if you're on the main website and you click over to it, this is a website that I had created. I create some of my own websites, but this was a little bit more than I want to get into, so I had somebody make it for me. And basically on here you can do listings of any kind that you want, as much as you want, as long as you want. And for instance, let's do a quick search here. Oops, let's go to pull down menu and say acreage, search. Here we go. There's 30 acres in New Mexico. In case anybody's interested in that, I'm owner financing it. Yeah. What's that? That's downtown. No, that's not. Yeah, that's downtown New Mexico. That really is. And Carrizozo, there's not much going on there. They just barely got a grocery store in there. So what you can do is you can put whatever properties you want up there anytime. And one of the nice things is you get to the bottom of this, you notice there's a place down here that says view all listings. If you have a number of listings, you can actually come down, click on that, and it will show you every property that you have for sale. So you can give this link up here to anybody you want, and then go directly to the site and see all your properties at once. You just have to click on this thing over here and you're ready to go. Okay, so that's all free. You can use that anytime you want. Why would you want to use this in somebody else's website? Well, for the same reason you'd want to use something like Craigslist. Craigslist, the newspaper, is a good place to put brief information, especially newspaper, because you don't want to spend a whole lot of money on advertising. But you want to be able to direct people back to something that has a lot of information. For instance, if we come back over here to, let's see, that look familiar still? There you've got a property, and if you scroll down, you can put all the information about the property in there, so you don't have people calling you up and saying, what's the square footage? You have time to be on the phone and talk to people about all the details of the property? Not really, so you can put it up on the website and there you go. All right? So that's another benefit you have being a member of the Santa Barbara Real Estate Investor Association. We are going to go down and talk a little bit about these 3 areas that I've spent time in the last 3 or 4 months going to seminars. This whole thing is about how do you save money on seminars thousands of dollars. Talk to somebody who's been to a few recently. Believe me, they're not cheap. Private lending. A couple months back, we talked a little bit about private lending. I went out with some other people to Las Vegas and listened to Alan Calgal, and we got this whole big spiel on the SAFE Act, the SEC, Securities Exchange. What's going to happen if you're doing private lending and you're not doing it properly? And I met a real estate attorney that we brought here to speak a month or so back, Doug Mickey. He's on our site there. You can go back and take a look at that information. And after listening to all that, we kind of formed this idea or plan that we would go out and try to get 50 or 100 private lenders, create a corporation, make sure that we follow the SEC regulations, and that we didn't get ourselves in trouble. But I was really concerned about it, and I came here, I think, probably scared some people, this is really dangerous stuff. And it is if you're not doing it properly. Okay? So, later on, what I did was I ended up going back to Sean Higgins and Tony Martinez in Los Angeles and took a look at their tax lien information. Okay? So let's go over, take a quick look at, let's see. Here we go. So I don't lose too much track of what's going on here. Some of our benefits. Went to Alan Calgal, listened to all this great stuff that he had to say, got really scared about private lending, and then went to go see Sean Higgins and Tony Martinez on tax liens. When I got there, I kept talking to the two main guys, Sean and Tony, and also to their staff, and one of my main questions was, how do you guys deal with the SAFE Act and the SEC and all these rules and regulations for private lending? And they looked at me like, huh? What are you talking about? And so I got into it a little bit more, and the more I got into it, the more they went, oh yeah, whatever. And so I kept badgering him at the breaks and saying, hey, would you talk to us a little bit about when you're first starting off in this business, how do you partner up with people, and how do you do this without getting in all kinds of trouble? He didn't mention that information when Jeanette went there the next couple weeks or whatever. At the very end, we talked about partnering, how you partner with people. Well, he did for us because I kept hassling about it. And at the very end, the last thing he spoke about, he got up there and he said, okay, so here's for the people that want to know about partnering and private lending and all that kind of stuff. He said, we've been doing this business for about maybe 8, 10, 12, 15 years. And he said, in the beginning, we had a few partners that were equity share partners. They weren't private lenders. We didn't go out there and advertise, because that's really what gets you in trouble with private lending, is when you go out there and you have websites and emails and newspapers and radio ads and TV ads that say, hey, we're accepting your money. You can be a private lender, and we're going to go do a deal and give you an interest rate percentage back on your money. If you don't have your ducks in a row, legally, if you do that, you can be in big trouble. And Alan knows, because he just about got in trouble, because that's what he does on a big scale. He rehabs homes. He needs a lot of money to do this, and so he's out seeking private loans all the time. Well, Sean said, hey, we didn't do that. We just had a few close associates that were basically equity share partners. We weren't looking for private funds. They came in and actually were part of the deal. And we only did that for the first couple of years that we were in business, because after that, we had enough money, we didn't need other people's money. We just used our own. And of course, Doug, Mickey, and I listened to all that, and he also said, he said, if I was going to go out and create a corporation where I had 50 or 100 investors doing private loans,